Hi everyone, me again. I think I'm recording. I'm still getting used to this camera. Sorry, I've got the wobbles, but let's get started. I'm going to take you somewhere different today. Whoops, might have to edit this bit out. Alrighty, let's get going. Thanks to everybody who gave me feedback on my test run. Again, I'm riding the bike paths and they follow the river line. So before we get started, while you're enjoying the view here, I did want to speak to you about Tom Barrack, Trump's good friend, the CEO of the inaugural committee. Of course, you'll remember that committee and was taking donations from foreign entities, foreign countries, and it was referred by Moolah, if I remember correctly, to SDNY. And of course, as we know, Bill Barr had his fingerprints all over SDNY, trying to shut down those Moolah investigations. I think it also, from memory, might have gone to the Manhattan or the New York DA at the state level. And I think that, as I've read in the past, that inaugural committee is tied up because money went into the Trump organization. Alan Weisselberg had access to the books, is tied up with the current Manhattan DA's investigation. So the plot is getting thicker, on a daily basis. Just before I go on with that, this path was created fairly recently. So you're seeing at the sides here, you're seeing all the machinery that came in. This is a pretty unused section of the river here. But anyway, let's keep going. Oh, I just had a big echo there underneath that viaduct. Let's keep going. So, back to the inauguration committee. Let me just crank it up a gear. Some people also, before I get back to the inauguration committee, some people have also asked about what my e-bike is. It's a Lightner e-bike. It's manufactured by an Australian company. This is a fellow that migrated, I think, from Germany or from Europe over to Australia, and God bless his cotton socks, he started a factory in Melbourne to produce e-bikes. Now, it got the e-bike of the year in 2020. So I did my research. I'm not affiliated with Lightner in any way. I think it's Lietner. These bikes, I'm not sure if you can get them overseas, but I did my research and this seemed to be the one for me. And of course, you have to decide from the many brands of e-bikes out there what bike is for you. So I've been asked what bike I ride, and that's it. And generally, e-bikes have been a lifesaver for me, part of my rehabilitation. I'm now, have increased my lower body muscle strength, everything. It's just improved aerobic fitness all round. And most of all, I just love it. I just absolutely love it. So on the left here, you can see our infamous gum trees, eucalyptus gum trees. There are a variety of eucalyptus. I think you might have eucalyptus trees somewhere in America. I think a viewer told me that. But these are the gum trees. On my left and right, the river is just down there to the right. So we're coming up to a bridge underneath the highway. Okay, inauguration committee. So, as we know, who was the director of that inauguration committee, or the chief organizer? It was Ivanka. So there's a there's an implication here for her. I've always said that the feds are circling, and they're going from the outer circle first. And this is what I feel Barrack, when I tuned into it, this is what I felt Barrack, the Barrack charges were about. It's sort of like working their way up from the outside in to the inner circle. Of course, who's in the inner circle will be Trump and Trump's children. This is, no matter which way you look at it, this is bad news for Donald Trump. Let me just get past these people here. Morning.
Good morning.
Beautiful day for a walk. Oh yeah. So yeah, they're still working on this, and it's planned that it will go all the way to the other side of the city where I live. It's absolutely marvelous. I love riding by the river. I love riding by any river or any waterway. So let's go back down and I'll finish off. I'll finish off my inauguration. Oh, it's getting a bit rough here. I'll finish off my inauguration insights, or my Tom Barrack insights. So, all right. So immediately when I saw that he was charged, I thought to myself, yeah, they're having a go. They're going to, again, as we know, people who surround Trump, that when they're confronted with the consequences of their criminal activity, they then decide to save their own skin because they know that he would throw them under a bus if he could. Sorry, I'll just whiz past. Thanks again. So yeah, you know, if enough pressure is applied to Barrack, he will flip on Trump. The thing that struck me, my logical brain, as well as my intuitive side of my brain, was if Barrack was sending the White House talking points to insert into a Trump speech, what does that say? It says, pardon me, it says that Trump, those around Trump were complicit in what Barrack was doing, which is giving a foreign country influence over US policy in a clandestine way, and that's breaking the law. Again, with Trump, he always remains out of an arm's breadth away from being indicted himself, which is why it relies on someone like Barrack to flip and say this was agreed with Donald Trump and XYZ was in the room and heard the conversation, and so we start to get closer to that inner circle. So watch this space. For those that, you know, are thinking that the DOJ and Merrick Garland aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing in letting someone like Wilbur Ross go free for perjury in front of Congress, that's one thing. Another thing is, as I understand it, Barrack lied to the FBI when they were investigating this unlawful foreign activity. So ultimately, where are we going to end up with this? Well, here's my prediction. I believe that Trump's relationship with foreign countries indeed pay for play, and his relationship with the oligarchs and Putin will ultimately be unmasked. Speaking of masks, we have a big turnaround by Sean Hannity, Mitch McConnell and other Republicans who are urging people to get vaccinated. Now, this is against the backdrop of the Republican Party, who have made a political statement and ploy and strategy of denying COVID denialism So no one, interestingly, no one says whether they've been vaccinated, and I'm speaking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Of course she's been vaccinated. Okay, why this turnaround? Well, I have a few thoughts on that. I think that there's a liability issue here for Fox News, for Rupert Murdoch. Same thing happened on Sky News in Australia. They ran a correction. The pressure is getting to Murdoch, and the pressure is going to come through the courts. The second reason is, it's quite obvious, isn't it, viewers? They're killing their voters. And as harsh as that might sound, if the Delta variant is so infectious and so diabolical, its impacts are so much more severe than Alpha variant, that it could be devastating in those southern states. And of course, who will be paying that price? It will be Republican voters. So suddenly they've woken up to the fact that they are killing the very people who are off voting to put them in office in some states, of course, with Republican governors, those who are keeping them in office. So I think that this is just, there will be a big turnaround.